word for us, and it's found in the book of Isaiah. My. Lord, you know one thing, I don't want these folks to get mad at me when I get through. I just want them to be happy. Because, see, I came to celebrate the sixth chapter of Isaiah. You pray for me while I fly and preach. The sixth chapter of Isaiah. And we're going to begin at the first verse. Now, your version may speak a little different from mine, but I'm speaking from the King James Version. All right? In the year that King Uzziah died,
yes, sir.
I saw the Lord also, the Lord sitting upon a throne, high and lifted up, and his train filled the temple. Above it stood the seraphims. Each one had 6 wings. With twain he covered his face, and with twain he covered his feet. And with twain, or you might be listening, saying, with 2 he did fly. And one cried unto another and said, Holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory. And the host and the post of the door moved at the voice of him that cried, and the house was filled with smoke. And then said I, Woe is me, for I am undone, because I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips. For mine eyes have seen the King, the Lord of hosts. And we're going to go on down and say that then flee one of the seraphims unto me, having live coal in his hand, which he had taken with the tongs from the altar. And he laid it upon my mouth and said, Lo, this hath touched thy lips, and thine iniquity is taken away, and thy sin purged. Please cut that thing off. Also, I heard the voice of the Lord saying, Whom shall I send? And who shall go for us? Then I said, here am I. Send me. Somebody say, here am I.
Here am I.
Send me. Now, my subject matter is taken from the first part of A in the first verse. Repeat after me. In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw also the Lord sitting up on a throne, high and lifted up, and his train filled the temple. Repeat after me. When I see him. When I see him. Isaiah is known as one of the major prophets. You got your pencils and pieces of paper. You may make a note there. And he wrote during before Christ, 681 BC. His dad was named Amos. And Isaiah had 2 children, if you didn't know it. And he was one of God's mouth spokesmen during the time of Judah. Yes, they were divided. And Isaiah was God's spokesman. Isaiah said that if you don't hear me, you'll hear somebody. Because you know one thing, I have told the Lord, here am I, send me. And when you tell the Lord, here am I, send me, you are obligated. You are obligated. And then not only that, here is Isaiah's vision of the Lord's glory. And somebody say amen there. Because you know why? We are obligated to give God glory at all times. And then Isaiah, he said that he's having a heavenly vision now, and he sees seraphims, he sees angels going up and down. And somebody said, well, is he drunk? No, it really bothered me when I found out this prophet had a burden for the Lord. And we as preachers, we ought to have, and congregation, you as gifted members of the Church of Jesus Christ, you ought to have a burden for the Lord. I was just glad when I heard that Sister Peters is going to take the young people and start teaching them. Somebody say amen. Amen. And then Isaiah says here that in God's holiness, I'm going to glorify God at all times. And not only that in all times, because he is a good God. Somebody say he's a good God. And then when you go down to the fifth verse, and I'll be back at number 1, he says that he's going to take a self-examination. That's what you need to do. Instead of pointing the finger at somebody else, take a self-examination. See, when you take the self-examination, you're not going to leave yourself out when you count everybody else wrong. We have the tendency to tell everybody else where they're wrong, but we never tell ourselves where we're wrong. But Isaiah is saying, take a self-examination. And not only that, he says here that all have sinned and come short of the glory of God, but you got to yet come before him meek and humble, and he will bring you back into the fold. But you got to take a self-examination. And then when these tongues start hitting your lips, see, you can get the rest out in Sunday school. Why? Because it's not only a Sunday school lesson. You got the superintendent here. You got the Board of Education. Some of the members are here. And this particular subject matter has been taught at the Sunday school level. Somebody say amen. When you see him, I saw the Lord sitting high upon the throne. High, and he was lifted up. And I believe that it requires seeing the Lord even as the prophet Isaiah saw him before you ever see other things clearly. You want me to say it again? That went right over your head. I said, you're going to have to see the Lord even as the prophet Isaiah saw him before you'll be able to see other things clearly. Remember the song in the 60s, I can see clearly now. Huh? What happened? The rain is gone. See, when the rain comes, it wipes away a whole lot of things, doesn't it? Even you with allergies, you can breathe a little better. I can see clearly now. And then until then, most people generally look through rose-colored glasses. But after you've seen the King Jesus, after you've seen the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, then you can see things as they really are. Once you see Jesus, Isaiah says that what happened is that in the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord. When I saw him, he was sitting high and lifted up. See, the thing is that when you see things high and lifted up, when you see him high and lifted up, then you can see just how low down and sinful you are. When you can see Jesus high and lifted up. When you see how holy and righteous he is, then you can see just how unholy and corrupt you and we are. Oh, come on here now. You are corrupt. I'm not going to ask you what you did last night, a night before last. But I come out to let you know that when you see Jesus, how lovely and glorious he is, then you can see just how despicable and godless we are. This is what Isaiah is saying. He's saying that when you see Jesus, how wise and knowledgeable he is, then you can see just how foolish and ignorant you and we are. Some of us are foolish. Some of us are ignorant. Give God a hand on that. And I know that's so. But he wants to do you. He wants to get you right. He wants to get you straight. Sometimes I act ignorant. Sometimes I act foolish. My wife says, "Hold on, horse." Every now and then we go astray. Huh? So you might as well acknowledge it. This is what the prophet is saying. When you see Jesus, how merciful and gracious he is, and then you can see just how arrogant sometimes we are and how hateful we are sometimes. Now, I know you're not going to point at nobody and say you're arrogant. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not hateful. No, you're not. We are the glorified church. We are the most high church. And there's no harm in being most glorified. There's no harm in being most glorified and that one that says that you are what God wants you to be. And that's what he wants you to be. But however, don't you ever think that you are so glorified that, number one, that you will not be able to act ignorant sometimes. Because every now and then our foot will slip. Am I right about it? Am I right about it? When you see Jesus and how perfect and powerful he is, then you can see how imperfect and powerless you and we are. That's what the prophet is saying. When you see Jesus and see how perfect and powerful he is, then you can see how imperfect you are. We've all sinned. We're not perfect. Every now and then I burn up the crust. Every now and then I burn up this real layer cake. Every now and then I burn up that hog called the barbecue. I'm not perfect. Huh? But I come by to let you know, when you see Jesus, that's when your imperfection goes away and your powerlessness goes away. Little bit by little bit. Remember, I'm not there yet. I'm still in progress. We all are yet becoming what God wants us to become. And as a matter of fact, you will never really know what life is all about until you see Jesus. You hear the prophet says that when I saw the Lord lifted high, King Uzziah died in my life. Huh? As a matter of fact, you will never really know what Christianity is all about until you see Jesus. I know that's so. Do you hear me? But the other thing is that you'll never know what grace is all about until you see Jesus. I hear him telling to Paul over there, say that, Paul, no matter what you're going through, no matter how down you are, my grace is sufficient for you. You'll never know what love is all about until you see him. You're talking about love, he went to the cross for you and I. You're talking about love, he shed his blood for you and I. You're talking about somebody in love with you, he loves you. To whereby he redeemed you. And you'll never know what really a sacrifice is all about until you see him. So you look at that one who is on the cross of Calvary. Am I right about it? You'll never know what genuine joy is all about until you see Jesus. And I found out that this joy that I have, the world can't give it. The world didn't give it to me, and the world will not take it away. I won't let the world take my joy. Am I right about it? You'll never really know him, never know him until you found out what salvation is all about, until you see him. Romans 10:8 says that we all have sinned and come short. But I tell you other thing. He says that you must believe in your heart, confess with your mouth that Jesus was raised from the dead. Thou shalt be saved. Not until then. See, you can always tell when somebody sees the Lord, like Isaiah saw him. For a great change will take place in their life. The talk is different. A great change will take place in your life. Their lives are different. Their thinking is different. And your worship is different. You pray different when God has brought a change in your life. Your singing is different when God has brought a change in your life. And not only that, you will act different.